everyone, welcome back to another signing video of Seeing Jade. Today we're going to be learning some signs for Martin Luther King Day. So the first sign we're going to learn is Martin Luther King Day. So for this one, we're going to use his abbreviations. So M, an M for Martin, L for Luther, K for King, Day. So our day is going to be a D hand shape. And then we're going to put it underneath and put it down because it's like the day going down like a sunset. So MLK, day. Our next sign is activist because there's a lot of activism during the civil rights movements. So activist is like that and then a person. Anytime you are saying like ST, activist, a teacher, when you're describing a person, you have to like sign this, it adds it as a person. So support person, basically, so advocate. Our second word is African American because Martin Luther King was African American. So for the sign African, it's going to be the shape of Africa. If you look on a map, it's kind of like heavy at the top and then it goes smaller. So African and then American. Your hands are going to go like this, cross together, American. So this is America and this is American, but for the sign African American, it is just African American. Our next sign is diversity because diversity is very, very important in today and back then as well, but very important. We have diversity everywhere, diversity in program, and just everywhere that you see. So for the sign diversity, we're going to start in the middle. It'll be a open B shape. You're going to bend it, face it inward, and then do this when you're going out. Diversity. Diversity. Our next sign is equal or equality because we are all equal. So the same thing, but this time you're just going to move it in a circle. So we're not doing this for diversity. We're going to keep it together, move it in a circle. Our next sign is freedom, because a big part of the civil rights movement was freedom for a lot of African Americans to be themselves. So freedom, we're going to start like this, our hands crossed, and move it out. Freedom. Freedom. It's the same sign for safe. Freedom and safe. Our next sign is the rights, because the whole aspect of civil rights movement was for rights. So for the rights, we're going to have our non-dominant hand in a 5 shape. We're going to take this hand in an open V shape, and you're going to do that. It's like a swooshing up movement. So, rights. Rights. And then if you're talking about human rights, you can do your body. So human, rights. If you're talking about civil rights, you would have to finger spell civil rights. But rights is just the easier one to use right now. Our next sign is change because a lot of change happened during the civil rights movement. So for change, it's going to be your X, 2 X's again, and then you're going to change it around. So you'll start crossed like this and flip it because you're changing. Our next sign is justice. Justice, we're going to have 2 F shapes or 9s. These are also a 9 or an F shape, 2 of them. And then you're going to face them down like this and do this. Alternate. So that's representing the justice, like pillars. They're alternating. Our next word is discrimination. So for this sign, we're going to have our left palm. We're going to face it kind of sideways. We're going to take a 1 hand shape and you're going to cross like an X. Discrimination. Our next word is segregation because that did happen a lot back then during the civil rights movement. So for segregation, it's going to be the sign group. This is the sign group to discuss a group of people. But for segregation, because groups were not allowed to be together, one group is separated. So segregation, okay? Our next sign is leader because Martin Luther King was a leader and a pillar in his community. For leader, it's going to be a open B shape, and you're going to turn it inward. This one is going to be a bent V shape, and you're going to place it on top of your fingers, and you're going to like lead your other hand. Lead, remember when we're talking about a person, got to use that sign. So leader. Our next sign is protest, because during the Civil Rights Movement, a lot of the communities were protesting how they were being treated. So protest, you're going to have a C shape, turn it sideways, put it on your chest. Protest. And the last word that we are going to learn today is the word struggle, because a lot of people struggled back during the Civil Rights Movement. For struggle, we're going to have two one-hand shapes. We're going to face them towards each other, kind of at a horizontal angle, and then you're going to move them both at the same time in a circular motion. And then for your mouth morphine, because it's a hard thing to go through, you're going to look like you're struggling. So for example, like that. As you can see my face, I'm like, oh, I'm struggling, okay? So those are all the words that are associated with Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on our next video.